What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Hope everybody's doing well, and we're going to run through a bunch today. We have a bunch of recent news to go over. As you can see how many tabs I have pulled up. So per usual, we're going to run through some information, and I'll trim these clips together. So first up, just where we're at in the market for a variety of assets. I scrolled through my entire TradingView list. This is about 300 different assets, and I pulled up about 49 assets thus far that are at cycle lows. So they might not necessarily be at an all-time low price like Zilliqa, which was a top performer, but when I'm looking at it for just this cycle and their lows, every asset or chart that I'm going to scroll through is just an example of an asset that has recently created a new cycle low. So for anybody curious, I have about 49 different price charts right here, all of these assets listed in alphabetical order thanks to the help of ChatGPT, and we're just going to run through these charts really quick. We can see the ticker above. We have Ape, we have Cosmos or Atom, we have Aleph Zero, and just going through this entire list, there are so many assets at cycle lows. EOS, Energy Web Token, Glimmer. So this is just a super quick example of 49 assets at cycle lows today. So feel free to look at those 49 assets I shared. You can go through TradingView and you're going to see from their 2021 high, some are down 90% and some are even down 99%. So say what you want about XRP. I know price action is the definition of boring, just ranging and consolidating in the 50-cent zone, but it could always be worse. And if we get another bull run just like XRP back here from 2013 to 2017, any accumulation at these lows, consolidating before expansion, that would be absolutely amazing. I've shared before the length of this until just breaking out. This is 1,211 days versus our January 2018 high and seeing how long we've been below this level. So we're talking about roughly 2 times longer. And as the adage goes, the longer the base, the higher in space, and only time will tell. And even just looking at XRP today, we are a hair below the 50-week moving average. That level today is around 55 cents or 55.7 cents. So getting back above that level and maintaining above that level is very important compared to previous cycles. So on the big picture, for a variety of assets, we want to see them all get back above their 50-week moving average. Next up, super quick. So this is some big news related to the XRP ledger shared by Ripple, expanding programmability on the XRPL. So we can see introducing advanced programmability, including smart contracts to the XRP Ledger developer ecosystem. So we have programmability coming through 2 key developments. We have first the introduction of native smart contract capabilities on the XRP Ledger mainnet, which is currently in the research phase, as well as the introduction of the XRPL EVM sidechain. I'll be super quick with this because we've gone into detail before regarding the features of the XRP Ledger. We've talked about hooks before as well. And of course, the XRP Ledger's EVM sidechain and its ability to leverage Axelar network with over 55 other blockchains. We also have Brad Garlinghouse saying this: with new programmability in the works for the XRP Ledger, something the XRPL community has rightly been asking for, and the growing opportunity for Ripple's enterprise products to serve crypto-native customers, such as Futureverse using Ripple Custody, the foundations of crypto infrastructure serving real-world use cases are steadily becoming more robust day by day. We can see Ripple's on the ground this week in Korea and Japan, starting off with a few big announcements, all in service of the goal to strengthen the foundations of crypto infrastructure to support blockchain utility and usability for institutional adoption. We have right here Futureverse, an AI and metaverse tech company, is partnering with Ripple Custody. Remember that Medico is now under Ripple Custody as well, to secure custody to its assets. Futureverse has already adopted the XRPL NFT standard, uses XRP as the gas token on the root network, and is integrated with the XRP Ledger DEX or decentralized exchange to supply network liquidity. So let's hope to see a much bigger push to bringing new programmability to the XRP Ledger like smart contracts, the EVM sidechain, and then other native capabilities or features on the XRP Ledger mainnet. We can see Ripple's UBRI, or this University Blockchain Research Initiative, added this Korean university as their 58th global partner with over $60 million committed to this program. We also have other headlines related to the Ripple US dollar stablecoin, according to Brad Garlinghouse, saying could be issued in weeks, not months. So according to Brad Garlinghouse, it definitely sounds like the Ripple US dollar stablecoin is going to be launched well before elections, indicating a launch timeline of weeks. We also have a great post by Anders right here referring to Ripple's annual event Swell taking place in Miami, and we can see major representatives from major US exchanges. So we can see Philip Martin, he is the Chief Security Officer over at Coinbase. We have right here Gemini's Head of Trust and Safety, and we also have right here Kraken's Chief Security Officer. So per usual, we have some big names attending Ripple's annual event, and just like Anders says, makes sense now that XRP has received regulatory clarity in the US. We also have David Schwartz for anybody interested putting out this really good tweet. I'm just going to skim through it. He just says, seems like there's confusion over the programmability blog post we put out yesterday. So let me clear a few points up. So we can see right here why the sudden change. As many pointed out, I focused on the fixed functionality of the XRPL in the EVM sidechain at Apex earlier this year. I genuinely didn't see how smart contracts on mainnet would work without turning the XRP ledger into a different chain. He had conversations in the past few weeks with Orchestra Finance and others in the community that made him recognize that programmability on the mainnet can work if the key challenges are addressed: ledger bloat, TPS loss, bugs, exploits, etc. So he goes on to say he fully acknowledges that plenty of smart minds came to this conclusion that programmability makes sense for mainnet much earlier. So committed to further transparency, regular community calls, design reviews with external community members and stakeholders, and blog posts explaining considerations. We also have some big news for the DREC Alliance. We've talked about this in detail before, and previously we had members like the Casper Association, Ripple, Hedera, Algorand, Constellation. We have some new members being added. So we have Hashpack, we have Oasis Protocol, think Rose, and we also have Palisade. So great to see this list growing. We also have the DLT Science Foundation. In other news, we also have Jim Cramer turning bearish on Bitcoin and crypto, so perfect timing per usual. Next up, if you guys have yet to see this 1-minute commercial put out by the Algorand Foundation, it'll definitely give you a chuckle, using crypto to tap to pay just to buy ice cream. So poking fun at Bitcoin, awaiting minutes and minutes for confirmation, poking fun at Ethereum for paying additional gas fees on top of your transaction, and then even using Solana where the network is just down, and then highlighting Algorand where it's instant. Alright, next up, this is posted by James Filan yesterday referring to the Ripple vs. SEC case. So Ripple has filed a letter requesting a stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment entered on August 7th. So the SEC has consented to the request for a stay. And we have this clip shared by Good Morning Crypto of Meta Law Man saying in quotes, I think it makes it more likely that the SEC will appeal.
I gotta say, I think it makes it a little bit more likely that there's going to be an appeal. Because if the SEC had already decided that they're not going to appeal, then they would just say, no, go ahead and pay us. This case is done. So the only two possibilities now are that they are undecided or they have decided to appeal based on what you just read to me. And typically when you have a large judgment like this, you request a stay to pay it, and if that's denied, then sometimes you can use what's called an appeal bond. You don't have to write a check for $125 million. You can get a bond for a tiny fraction of that will pay in the event you lose on appeal. So it feels to me like a signal that they're more likely to appeal.
We also have shared by PEAQ Network, a DePIN Layer 1 network that is set to launch. It looks like they're announcing the week that they're launching between September 22nd to September 30th. So really highlighting disintermediation, getting rid of the middlemen in different applications like ride sharing, food delivery, all types of things. We also have Cointelegraph highlighting PEAQ Network, a Layer 1 blockchain purposely designed to power DePIN or decentralized physical infrastructure networks. So definitely interested to see how PEAQ Network can perform long term. They do have several funding rounds and a bunch of big VCs backing them, like Borderless Capital. We have Spartan, DWF Labs, Animoca Brands, a bunch of groups. So curious to see how price action is during launch, because typically with a lot of VC backers, we usually see a lot of sell-offs and distributions initially. But with PEAQ not even being live yet, we know that Crest is live as the Canary Network. I'm excited to see its long-term success. Its ecosystem is definitely growing. I guess if I were them right now looking at the market in a very limited liquidity environment, I wouldn't really want to launch. I would probably want to delay as much as possible, awaiting for Bitcoin to draw its first major move or see the crash of Bitcoin dominance. But maybe they just want to launch as soon as possible. Maybe they know something we don't about the market's performance. And it is important to get that first mover advantage, launch the mainnet, have developers building and launching applications as soon as possible. So I've played with PEAQ a little bit. I know that DePIN and the total addressable market is huge, so this is one project I'm watching. Alright guys, we're going to call it a day for today's video. If I have time today, I'll probably try to get another one out, going over some recent news for HBAR, Casper, XRP, etc. I just wanted to give a big thank you to those that commented on my recent short. I'm really gonna miss her. She ended up dying in her sleep in the ER. We got to say goodbye. I just didn't know it'd be the last time seeing her. I've lost dogs and cats before, but this one is different. I was with her every minute of every day for almost 2 years. She was born with leukemia because her mother had it. We tried to give her a really good life, and we're always gonna miss her. She was one of the smartest cats I've ever known. She would jump in the shower with me. She would just do the craziest things. And, for anybody to say, oh, she's just a cat, nah, she was my baby girl. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to all that hit the like button. We're still catching up on a bunch of news, so stay tuned for the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts down below. As always, you can find all links, including resources for charting, trading bots, platforms, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts in my link tree at the top of the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.